OnePlus 12 versus Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra speed test, beginning with a boot up in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now, we do have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 on the right, and we do have ourselves the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 on the left. So I'm going to do the S24 Ultra soon in a couple days, but I want to see how the 8 Gen 2 does first against this 8 Gen 3 that's all new here for the OnePlus. So the OnePlus turns on like a second or two faster. It does have 16 gigs of RAM in this model, 512 gig. This one over here, it's 12 gigs of RAM on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. So overall, so far in the boot up, just a little bit quicker on the OnePlus 12. I wonder if the S24 Ultra will be a little bit faster. Probably not because of One UI though. All right, so both of these phones do have in-display fingerprint sensors. So let's go ahead and take a look at how they perform. OnePlus's fingerprint sensor is faster. That's just all there is to it. There is a little bit of an animation that looks quite smooth on the Samsung, and I can turn down the animation to be a little bit more medium on the OnePlus, but it still has a faster fingerprint sensor. But the Samsung's is perfectly serviceable as well. The OnePlus is just quicker. With the screens off, you can actually go ahead and do the same thing on lock, but you'll see the OnePlus is still quicker. Now, I did have always on display on, so that lit up the screen for the OnePlus. If the screen is not lit up, then it does take a little bit longer. So do keep that in mind. But having always on display means you'll have a pretty quick unlock. So very good in that respect on both phones. Now, in terms of the actual software, Oxygen OS 14 over here with the Android version 14. Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is on board with an Adreno 750 GPU. And basically, I gotta tell you, I'm really liking what OnePlus is doing here. It's got a lot of features, it's smooth. The software is just butter here on the OnePlus 12 for sure. You can see just no type of lag, nothing. It's just it's like a flawless smartphone experience when it comes to smooth. Now, Samsung really went to town with the S23 Ultra, and it's one of the reasons why the S24 Ultra is already super popular. But they went to town with One UI 6 too. So this phone also very, very smooth. Although it doesn't look quite as smooth to me as the OnePlus 12. And I don't expect the S24 Ultra to look hardly any different than this, but we'll do a speed test versus S24 Ultra and S23 Ultra as well. But generally going through One UI 6, Android 14, it's also quite smooth. No major issues to speak of. All right, so here we are at the app test. Everything closed out for both phones. You know the drill. Let's get going. 3, 2, go. And was that a little bit faster on a Samsung? Remember, we do have only slightly different CPUs here, but the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is the newest. I don't expect to see hardly any differences here because the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 was the big dog of the Android world last year, and it was one of the biggest leaps forward for their performance in a while. Let's go into Play Store. Looks like it's faster on the Samsung. Samsung does have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy though here. And the same is true for the S24 line. They're specifically designed for the Samsung phones. So what it means is that they kind of get a little bit better performance than some other phones. Let's go into things to do. And it looks to me, that was the Galaxy. It looks to me like this phone has basically the same performance. Either way you go, that was faster on the OnePlus. Which also means that if you plan on ordering an OnePlus 12R, which I'll cover soon here, the OnePlus 12R is definitely a device that you could consider because it has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and it's only $499. So that's pretty neat. So here on Instagram, about the same performance, about the same there. Let's head up out of there. About the same there. Let's go back to the home feed. Pretty much the same. And I only have the gesture bars on so I don't miss swipes. I don't usually use the gesture bars, but they're on for that reason. That looked like Samsung on eBay. Let's go ahead and Amazon. Basically identical. Starbucks. You could see basically identical. Now let's see if there's a change in the games. I do have high performance mode on. If you're wondering about the OnePlus 12, is the high performance mode on? It is on. I promise you it's on. I'll show you later if you don't believe me, but since we're in the middle of it already. That was faster a little bit on the Samsung, but it definitely is on. So there's no excuses in this one. Let's go in, let me just show you that really quickly too. High performance mode, you'll see is definitely on. So I'll go ahead and close that out. We'll get back to where we were, Jetpack Joyride. And you'll see Jetpack Joyride. There goes the Samsung. I think this Qualcomm for Galaxy thing gives the Samsung a little boost. I really do. Because how do we have the same newer CPU and nothing should be loading faster on the Samsung? But I mean, it could be my finger. I could be a little drunk today. No, I'm not drunk, but like I could be a little off today, but I doubt it because I've tested these beforehand and I'm going to tell you certain things load a little faster on the Samsung. So there might be a little boost to the Qualcomm for Galaxy thing that's real. That was faster than the OnePlus. But the OnePlus is just a boss, man. Let's go into PUBG Mobile for the price. For the price. Keep in mind, for the price. Now, I know this phone is probably more competitive with like a S24 Plus or an S23 Plus, something like those types of phones in the price category. But it stacks up fine to the Ultra as well. I mean, look at the sizes. They're like the same sizes. The OnePlus looks a little taller, actually. So, what do you know? But imagine a OnePlus Ultra. That would be amazing. I wonder if OnePlus will do that, a OnePlus Ultra. Or like a max version of their phone, charge like maybe another 150 and get even bigger boss performance, even bigger boss speed. Maybe they'll put 24 gigs of RAM. I love that OnePlus and Asphalt again, 3, 2, go. See how it goes. And we'll get up in here. That was faster on the right. Let's go into Geekbench. Let's go into 3D Mark. And let's go into the cameras. Samsung launched the camera first. That's pretty interesting. Let's hit speed test. You'll see faster on the Samsung. We were actually loading we were loading the location. Let's do that again. Yeah, it's still faster on the Samsung there. Yeah, auto brightness on. Let's turn that off. But overall, I gotta say, man, like this was almost an identical speed test here. So you're really just choosing on price, you know, software. These have almost neck and neck performance. And what that means is that I think the S24 Ultra might be slightly quicker than the OnePlus 12 because that Qualcomm for Galaxy we'll have to see coming next. But the S23 Ultra has nearly identical performance to the OnePlus 12. That's good for the 12 though if you wanted to get a OnePlus 12 because the Galaxy is like the top dog in the market and the OnePlus 12 is right there with it swinging hard, so, and for a really good price. So this is an excellent phone as well. Let's see how they do in the RAM management though. Right, so let's start here with the OnePlus 12. And I gotta tell you, man, 16 gigs of RAM, this should be one of the best on the market, hands down. Let's go over here. I'm tapping it too hard, messing up my taps. Let's go over there. Okay, maybe it's not me. Maybe I'm missing. Okay, we'll go over here. Temple Run 2. Let's hit Starbucks, Amazon, eBay, Instagram, Twitter, Groupon, weather, clock, calculator, and calendar. So perfect, flawless. And it never really has any issues on the OnePlus, as you can see, no matter what. It's just buttery smooth, flawless animations. You can go back through them 1,000 times. The RAM management is superb on that device. Now, the Galaxy is definitely a device as well that has superb RAM management. It used to not be that way, but these days it definitely is. I think too that one of the reasons I was mistapping is I was hitting it too hard. I also have a screen, there's also a built-in screen protector that could be a little bit of the reason. Hold on, that looked like a reload on Amazon. I do feel like the Galaxy's animations don't look as good though. they're still really nice. They're much improved over before. They just, I don't know, they don't look as good to me as the OnePluses. Or it could just be me. I'm not trying to be biased. I'm trying to just say what I see. But look at this performance. Man, it's a boss here though. One UI 6 really stepped it up. But I gotta say, if we take a look here one more time at animations, yeah, there's no way. The OnePluses just look smoother. That's just the bottom line. I wish the tapping was, I was a little bit better with my tapping right now, but definitely the OnePluses look nicer to the eye. That is just the bottom line. I don't care. All right, so here's the final score for the Galaxy. The high performance mode is on here. I'm gonna go ahead and run the Geekbench 6 on the OnePlus 12. We're trying to beat 1924 and 5178. So I'll be back when that final test is in. All right, so here are our final scores. You can see 1411 on the single core, 1924 on the single core for the Samsung, and the OnePlus takes it down in the multi-core. That could be the Adreno 750, but it's only a little bit. So I'm wondering after this test how the S24 Ultra will be doing, and be subscribed because I'm going to compare these two as well, the S24 Ultra and the OnePlus 12. But for this one, the S23 Ultra pretty much matching up here as well. So this probably is just showing me that the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, while amazing, is just adding on top of what was already amazing last year with 8 Gen 2. So if you see phones crop up this year with 8 Gen 2s like the OnePlus 12R, don't not want to look at them. They're still going to be really ridiculously good deals, and because that chip is older, you're going to get great performance at a lesser cost to you, providing you with maybe a little bit more value depending on if you find that something you really care about, great performance at a low price. So I'll be back when they are done with the 3D Mark test and we'll see what they get. And here are final scores. The OnePlus crushing the S23 Ultra in Wildlife Extreme, 28.91 FPS, overall score 4828, scores better than 92% of devices. Over here on the right, 3771 with a 22.5 FPS, scoring better than only 87%. So I say only, like that's a problem. That's still really good. So at the end of the day, you've seen that the OnePlus faster in the GPU score, but not better in the single core for Geekbench, but doesn't really mean much. You've seen in the test, they're pretty much neck and neck. Let's go ahead now and open up the cameras. I think we already did this earlier in the speed test, but I want to see the shutter speed and help you out with that. I kind of like this little bar down here as well, where you can kind of see your applications at the bottom on the OnePlus. It's kind of nice software feature. Let's hit camera in 3, 2, go. And you could see I didn't even see which one, it was so close. Let's do it again, 3, 2, go. OnePlus, let's go ahead and hit the shutter. Let's switch between the lens here. And we'll go back. And one more time. And back. I'm missing stuff now. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's hit 3x, let's hit 1x. OnePlus looks like it can go back through the lenses a little bit quicker. The actual shutter key, not a major difference right there. So we're gonna wrap it up here. Which Android phone won this test here? I would say the OnePlus is slightly more powerful for sure, with its 16 gigs of RAM, smoother animations, better in the GPU where it really shows the actual stronger performance. The OnePlus 12 is faster than the S23 Ultra. But the S23 Ultra with that Qualcomm for Galaxy boost makes it nearly identical. So yeah, it just makes me even more want to see the comparison between this and the S24 Ultra. So be subscribed for that. I think mine's arriving today or tomorrow. So just stay tuned. I will be covering that in a speed test. So thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you all in the very next episode. Nick here. Be sure to be well. Have a great day and peace.